Morning folks, I'm James here at McLarty Ford Service Technician. Today we're going to talk to you a little bit about fluids and just checking your fluids and knowing what they're supposed to look like and where those fluids are that you need to look at. So if you want to come over here, we'll start with your engine coolant. Most of the time your engine coolant is going to be in a container similar to this. Some of the older styles have an engine cap on the radiator that you would open that and check. This is called a degas bottle or a coolant reservoir bottle. It's real simple. Simply untwist it and take a look down in there. You can see there's plenty of fluid in there, and it looks, that's the color that coolant is supposed to be, is that green, but it actually looks pretty good. There's no evidence of oil or debris or dirt or anything else in there. That's in good shape. Another way is you can always tell is they've got an indication on the side of how full the container is supposed to be. Simply put it back on, twist it on, it'll begin to click. Give it about 2 clicks and that's all the tightness you need on it. Another one that you might want to consider looking at just from time to time is your power steering fluid. Power steering fluid is normally going to be contained in a reservoir similar to this. They're not all the same, but they're all serve the same function. They're all different shapes and things like that. The best way that you can tell is just about every single one of them is labeled. We'll take this cap off so you can see, but they're all labeled on the cap or somewhere on it. It states that it's power steering fluid. And that's it. So the next thing you want to do, take a look down in there. Alright, and you can see that there's plenty of fluid down in there. Now power steering fluid is a little bit harder to see because it is darker, so the best thing to do is stick your finger down in there, get a little bit on your finger and put it right there on your skin, and you can take a look and see it's pretty clear, it's pretty clean, doesn't look too bad, and it's in pretty decent shape. It's not burnt, it doesn't have trash or debris or anything in it. Normally what happens is power steering fluid, when it starts going bad, it'll get real dark, it'll start having trash and debris in it, and it'll have a burnt smell to it because it's been overused. Next thing we're going to take a look at, right over here, is going to be your transmission fluid. Not all vehicles are equipped with transmission dipsticks. A lot of the older ones are, and normally they are labeled just like this. When you check your transmission fluid, you want the engine idling, in park, emergency brake on just for safety, and all you do is you pull it out. It's like kind of like checking your engine oil. Pull it out. It's got notches on the end, and this one actually indicates where you can add fluid. This is the cold temperature where the fluid should be, and this is hot temperature where the fluid should be. And then if your fluid level is up to here, it says do not add. So all you're going to do is, the engine's not running right now, but you want to do this with the engine idling in park. You dip it down in there, pull it back out, and you can look and see where the fluid is. This one is right at the top of the hot mark, where it should be. Another thing I forgot to mention is you can rub a little bit on your skin, and you can take a look at the fluid. See that it's got a nice cherry red color. It's clear, it's clean, there's nothing major wrong that looks like it, or that it looks like. Another pretty simple one that you can check on, but this is just convenience for you, is your washer fluid. Most of these are always going to be labeled most of the time. Washer fluid, you want to make sure there's no dirt and debris, make sure it looks good, and make sure it's not frozen. In the winter time, washer fluid has a tendency to actually freeze on you. You need to stop your system up. And the last one we're going to check, if you come over here, we're going to check your engine oil. Most of the time, engine oil is labeled. It's got a dipstick with a label on it, and it'll be on the driver's side of the engine most of the time. Sometimes it'll be a black handle, sometimes it'll be a yellow handle, but most of the time it will indicate engine oil. What you want to do is with the engine off, doesn't have to be cool or hot, it doesn't matter. Simply take it out and wipe it off, because while the engine's running, oil gets splashed up on it and it doesn't give you a very accurate reading. So you wipe it off, stick it back in, make sure it seats all the way, pull it back out, and now you can check the level. And we can see this one's a little bit low, but we knew that. But typically it'll have these hash marks on it, and it'll have a marking that says max or says minimum on it. Usually as long as you're within that hash mark or between the max and the minimum, you're in pretty decent shape. You'd want to be a little bit closer to the maximum side of it. So, but this one we know is about 2 quarts low on oil, so we're going to add some a little bit later. All right, and the last one that's real simple for you to just check and look at is your brake fluid. Most brake fluid reservoirs, they'll have an indicator on it as far as how much brake fluid that you actually want in there. And a good way to check it, because sometimes they're hard to see, just shake it a little bit and you can see the fluid moving. It's within range. This is your minimum mark right here is the halfway. It's within range and it's not bad looking. Take it up, take your cap off, open, take a look in there, and once again make sure it's clean, clear, and not too awful dark. That does it for checking your fluids. This is something that you can do to help as preventative maintenance to help maintain your vehicle and keep it running smooth. Have a good day, folks. Bye-bye.